Alright, so we're gonna go test drive the Model Y 5-seater because the 7-seater is in the showroom. But I never driven a Model Y, have you?
Neither have I.
Alright, so we're gonna go see and check it out. We are first test driving the Model Y 5-seater to see how it performs and then checking out the Model Y 7-seater in the showroom. Now we're going on the actual test drive. Give our first impressions.
My first impression is it feels a lot heavier than a Model 3. You definitely feel the extra mass, and you do feel that you're sitting higher. It feels like you're probably like 4 or 5 inches higher. Getting in is definitely a lot easier. So I could see that being good for a lot of people that have, you know, accessibility issues. Let's take this turn. Let's see.
Oh boy. Like when you did that turn just then,
Yeah.
even though it was really heavy, the battery kept the car really planted on the ground. And today's raining a little bit, so we shouldn't have as much traction as in a dry day.
The road noise, I feel like it's, do you hear that it's louder in the back?
I can hear that the insulation from the front two windows are better than...
I don't really hear anything up here, but I think this has the double pane. Yeah, it does. So this is the double pane glass. So it seems to feel quieter in the front, but I can definitely hear noise in the back.
The seats are a lot more comfortable. They're a lot more cushy than the Model 3 I had.
I do feel like the car feels more solid.
Yeah,
overall. Like my car doesn't feel as one piece, even though like it's pretty stiff. Like it feels, there seems to be a better, yeah, this seems to be built a little bit better. Okay.
All right. Welcome back. I'm gonna make a U-turn now. The big question for a 3-row is, can an adult fit in third row?
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna go see right now in the showroom. Now they won't allow us to use a real camera to film it, so we have to just kind of voice over it. But we're gonna try to do the best job that we can to show you. So yeah, let's go check it out now. All right, we're going to the Tesla store now to check out the 7-seater Model Y. So we're at Tesla now. As of filming, the only 7-seater Model Y available for viewing is in the showroom of Tesla Newport Beach, Fashion Island. In the pictures, the third row looks very small, so we're excited to see how practical and viable it is for a small family.
Okay, so we're gonna try the third row.
Is it stuck?
Yeah, it's supposed to. Let's try this again. There we go. Oh. Okay, so the hatch is down. You put this, well, so obviously you gotta put the seats forward to, you know, sit back here, but as far as headroom goes, if I sit straight up, my head touches the glass, so I have to crouch a little bit, and I'm only 5'6", so I'm not very tall.
Gotta scoot over and I'll come in too.
Okay. Alright, so
there's definitely some space right here.
Yeah, so I think the seats are all the way up. So
I don't know why this is not going in.
Oh, I think
there's a...
Gotta press that side.
Oh, this side?
There we go.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, there's definitely space.
There's space, but if you look at the seats over the, like this is all the way up. I think it can go back like 1 notch on the track.
Yeah. Oh, we're not that tall.
Yeah, we're not that tall.
And our hair is already...
Yeah.
So our hair is already... So we hit a bump or something, you know, it's definitely gonna hit. But you know, it's for small families that occasionally need.
I think I could be in here maybe up to an hour tops. The only thing is there's no AC vents back here. So especially in the summer, like this is gonna be really warm.
That's true. You gotta cover this up.
Yeah, so I think probably still best for kids. We do fit back here, but it's not, you know.
Okay.
It's not going to replace a minivan. All right. Cool. Okay, so we're in the back with the third row up. So it's actually not that bad. It's a lot better than most 3-row crossovers. And we still have this bottom compartment, obviously. So you could fit a lot back here, even with the third row seat up. And you know, folding it down is pretty easy. It's actually a powered release, so you just do this. And you'll notice versus the 5-seater, you do have this lip, like a couple inches, so it's not flat all the way. So that's a little bit of difference. And then obviously you've got the armrest here versus the 5-seater. So you do lose a little bit of space. Versus the 5-seater, but I mean, it's not a lot. Okay, so I'm in the second row now. The seat is in the same position as we were when we were in the third row, and like it's not bad. The seat is kind of far up, but I think I can sit behind myself okay.
Now to compare the 7-seater trunk space with the 5-seater.
Okay, let's check out the back. So obviously we got power lift gate standard. This is the 5-seater, and one of the main differences is on the third row, because you've got the seat, it's going to be raised a little bit more, and you'll see there's a little bit of a lip on the 7-seater. You still got, you know, you've got a ton of space here with the 5-seater, obviously, and just like the Model 3, there's a tub down here as well for extra cargo capacity. And then with the Y, you've got these buttons that fold down the seats. And then if you were to pull, let's try this one. So you can flip down the seats pretty quickly. That's a really nice feature, I think. And yeah, back here you got a ton of space. Definitely enough room for camping. Let me crawl in the back of here so we can see how, if you were to camp, oh yeah, you got plenty of space. Actually,
it's comfortable.
This feels like a full-size bed. That's what it feels like. And then with the glass roof, there's like an uninterrupted view. So I could see how it'd be really great for camping.
So we just wrapped up and want to give our conclusion points about how we feel about the Model Y and the 7-seater. So Jeff, what do you feel, your first impressions?
So I think it basically was what I expected. The seat, I mean, like, we both fit in there, but we're not especially tall. So
the third row, right?
Yeah, the third row. So anybody taller than us would probably not want to be back there.
And we're 5'6".
Yeah, we're around 5'6". So I think 5'6", 5'7", that's probably the limit of where you could comfortably fit. Don't know if it would get really hot back there because there's no AC vents.
Right. And
your head is basically right next to the glass, so it might be really warm back there in the summer.
And we hit a bump, you know.
Yeah.
Our head's gonna hit the glass for sure.
And then as far as the Model Y itself, I mean, neither of us drove one before, so what did you think, Jerry?
I assumed that it was very similar to the Model 3, but actually felt much more different than I anticipated, because it was a lot heavier. We can definitely feel the weight, but you know, build quality has definitely improved. It is quieter with the double pane glass in the front, and overall I think for long distances it is a more comfortable car to drive than a Model 3. But for me and for you, Jeff, as well, right? Like, we like sportier cars, so we want to get as low to the ground as possible. Yeah. So Model 3 for me would be a better choice.
Yeah, and then for me, definitely as a driver, I would prefer Model 3. Yeah. If I had a family and like kids and stuff, I would probably pick a Model Y, because definitely as a passenger, it's a much better car. And I would, if I had a family, I would probably pick I would probably pay for the third row seat option, just because, you know, it's better than nothing. And even with the third row up, the luggage space is actually not too bad. It's better than most like 3-row crossover SUVs, because not only do you have the space like directly behind the seat, you also have the big cubby hole below. So I think you could probably get at least 3 or 4 carry-on size suitcases, even with the 3rd row up. So I think like it's still like it's a good option for sure, but it, you know, it wouldn't replace like a minivan or anything like that. It would be like a occasional use type of thing.
It's a good like temporary solution, but if you have like a long-term 7-person family, then it wouldn't be very practical or comfortable.
You'd probably want to go with the Model X, or you know, a non-Tesla like SUV or minivan or crossover, you know, that but like as you said, I think the driving experience, it's pretty similar, but it does, yes, it feels much heavier than my car, and you feel like you're sitting about probably like 5 or 6 inches higher than in a Model 3.
The seats were very easy to, because they're powered. There are buttons where you can press and the seats fold down automatically. But it's actually a lot harder to get the seats back up. I don't know why. It's just I got stuck in the back.
Yeah. The mechanism in the 2nd row, it's a little different than the 5-seater. So it has like an extra feature where it kind of it slides forward and pops up from the base. So it's all powered. Well, sort of. You still have to push it back in and out, but the release mechanism itself is powered. But the weird thing is the latch is only in the front. So if you're coming, like most of the time, a lot of like manufacturers, they'll have like the latch towards the back.
Yeah.
So that if you're sitting in the back,
you can't
it's
pop it
more
open.
natural, right? You're grabbing like this and then you're pushing it forward. But in the Tesla, it's in the front. Yeah. So if you didn't know, you would get stuck very easily because you don't know to push the front and then push it forward. So that's kind of a weird thing. I think they just didn't think it through all the way because they're not used to making something like that.
Overall, I think the space was bigger than what we anticipated, but I don't think it's a long-term solution for a 7-person family. But overall, it's a nice car. I mean, for the price, and the quality has improved for Tesla.
Judging from the car that we drove, I think Tesla has gotten better in their build quality.
Yeah.
The car seems more solid now than before. But I mean, I still see some things that aren't like, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it used to be. And I think, yeah, I mean, I see the reason for their success. Like nobody else has the whole package like Tesla has still.
Yeah. All right, so that's it from us. We'll have a lot of new videos coming out. Thank you for watching.
Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already.
It means a lot to us. And again, this is Jerry
and Jeff
signing off.